Ethan was a quiet boy, the kind who found more comfort in the world he created on paper than in the noisy school hallways. His sketchbook was his best friend, filled with vibrant characters and fantastical landscapes. He poured his heart into every line, every splash of color. But one afternoon, his world was shaken. A few classmates gathered around his desk, pointing and snickering at his drawings. Words like weird and childish floated through the air, piercing his quiet confidence. He felt a knot tighten in his stomach, a mixture of hurt and confusion that he couldn't quite understand. Why were they so mean? All he was doing was drawing. The next day, during recess, the situation escalated. As Ethan sat under the old oak tree, sketching a new idea, 3 of the same kids from yesterday approached him. They circled him like vultures, their shadows falling over his page. One of them snatched his sketchbook. "Look at this," he jeered, flipping through the pages. "And what are these cheap crayons? Can't your parents afford real art supplies?" They laughed, a harsh, grating sound that echoed in Ethan's ears. He just sat there, frozen. His mind went blank. He didn't know what to say or do. He felt small, powerless, and utterly alone. The bell rang, signaling the end of recess, but the sting of their words lingered long after they had gone. Instead of rejoining his class, Ethan slipped away to the back of the school, a place no one ever really went. He leaned against the cool brick wall and finally let the tears he'd been holding back fall. They streamed down his face, silent but heavy. He hugged his knees to his chest, trying to make himself as small as possible, as if he could disappear. He replayed their taunts over and over in his head. What was so wrong with him? What was so wrong with his drawings? He was just trying to create something beautiful, but it felt like the world was punishing him for it. The cruelty felt so personal, so targeted, and he couldn't wrap his head around why. When the final bell rang, Ethan walked home with a heavy heart, his usual post-school energy completely gone. The moment he walked through the door, his mom knew something was wrong. Mothers have a way of sensing these things. She saw the redness in his eyes and the slump in his shoulders. Without a word, she wrapped her arms around him in a warm, gentle hug. That simple act of kindness was all it took for Ethan's walls to crumble. He buried his face in her shoulder and sobbed, telling her everything: the mocking whispers, the laughter, the taunts about his art supplies. He told her how small and worthless they had made him feel. His mom held him until the tears subsided, listening patiently to every painful detail. Then, she pulled back, looked him in the eye, and said something that would change his life forever. "Ethan," she said softly but firmly, "I need you to listen to me very carefully. Bullies don't pick on kids because they're weak. They pick on kids who have something special, something that shines a little brighter than they do. They see that light in you, that incredible passion for your art, and they don't know how to handle it, so they try to dim your light. But you can't let them. I want you to take every single mean word they said and use it as fuel. Let it make you stronger. Let it push you to become so good that no one can ever ignore your talent." Her words weren't just comforting. They were a call to action, a spark ignited within him, a tiny flame of defiance and determination. That night, something inside Ethan shifted. He wasn't just a sad, hurt little boy anymore. He was a boy with a mission. He made a promise to himself, not to prove the bullies wrong, but to prove his mom right. He was going to get better for himself. He started a new routine. Every single day after school, he dedicated hours to his craft. He watched countless online tutorials, learning about perspective, shading, and color theory. He studied the works of great artists, trying to understand their techniques. He filled sketchbook after sketchbook, not with sadness, but with practice. He experimented with new styles, new mediums, and slowly but surely, he began to develop a voice, a unique style that was all his own. His art became his sanctuary and his training ground. His hard work didn't go unnoticed. His art teacher, Ms. Anya, started to see a dramatic transformation in his work. The shy boy who used to draw simple cartoons was now creating complex, emotive pieces with incredible depth and skill. One day, she pulled him aside after class. "Ethan," she said, her eyes sparkling with pride, "the school's annual art exhibition is coming up. I've seen your progress, and it's simply astonishing. I would be honored if you would submit a piece." Ethan's heart leapt into his throat. The thought of displaying his art for the whole school to see was terrifying. What if they laughed again? But then, he heard his mom's voice in his head, use their words as fuel. He took a deep breath, looked at his teacher, and nodded. "I'll do it," he said, a newfound confidence in his voice. The day of the exhibition arrived. The school gym was transformed into a bustling gallery, filled with students, teachers, and parents. Ethan stood beside his artwork, a large canvas depicting a lone knight facing a massive, shadowy dragon. The knight wasn't big or muscular, but his eyes burned with a fierce, unyielding light. The painting was a reflection of his own journey, full of struggle, but also full of strength and emotion. People started to gather around his piece, their voices hushed with awe. He heard whispers of incredible and so powerful. Even the classmates who had once made fun of him stood there, stunned into silence. Their mocking smirks were replaced with expressions of genuine amazement. For the first time, Ethan felt proud to have his art seen. Then, something unexpected happened. One of the boys, who had been the ringleader of the bullying, slowly walked over to him, his head bowed. He shuffled his feet awkwardly, avoiding eye contact. "Hey," he mumbled, "That's really good." He finally looked up at Ethan, his eyes filled with a surprising sincerity. We had no idea you were this talented. We were just being jerks. I'm sorry, Ethan." Ethan looked at him, and for a moment, he could have held on to the anger, the hurt. But looking at the boy's face, he saw not a monster, but just another kid who was maybe a little lost himself. He remembered his mom's words about their own insecurities. He offered a small, genuine smile. "It's okay," he said. "Thank you." In that moment, he felt a weight lift off his shoulders. Forgiveness was a power all its own. Ethan practically floated home that evening, clutching a certificate of excellence for most expressive artwork. He burst through the front door, his face beaming. Mom, look," he exclaimed, waving the certificate in the air. He told her all about the exhibition, the compliments, and the unexpected apology. "You were right," he said, his voice thick with emotion as he gave her the biggest hug. "You were right all along. Your words helped me turn all that pain into power." His mom hugged him back tightly, her heart swelling with pride. Ethan had not only become a brilliant artist, but he had also discovered the incredible strength that was inside him all along. His journey taught him that true success isn't about silencing your critics. It's about finding your own voice and making it so powerful, it can't be ignored. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, please give it a like and subscribe for more inspiring content.